Oh, I can't do it. Ooh, ah, daily grind. Ooh, okay, sorry, guys. Happy Monday, everybody. Sorry for starting your week off like that. That was Disturbed. That was also Disturbed, the song. Boom, boom. We got puns. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. Happy Monday. It's Monday, so I got my guy, Uncle Buck. How are you, Drew? How are you, brother? I haven't seen you in like that's not true. It's been like 3 days. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just as good as you could ask for. Just starting another day here in North Mississippi. I feel like my camera is very close to my face right now.
I love it. I was just thinking, it looks like you're in the scene in The Godfather. You look like you're in Michael Corleone's study in Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, well, this is my favorite room of the house. It got taken over by the children. So, whereas my TV used to be behind me and my trusty little rocket chair here, I got outvoted and I moved it. So
you need to
my study.
You need to just start keeping your friends in your house. That way, when things come to a vote, you'll be like, I got to ask the boys. And then you just bring in your guys. You're like, sorry, looks like you're overruled. I'm sure your wife would love that.
Rusty, get here now.
Rusty, how far away are you? Get here, Rusty. Quick. It doesn't matter, Rusty. It doesn't matter what's going on. I need you. We're already off track. Thank you for joining us, everybody at home. It looks like we got Rusty. We got King Meeks. We got Wayno, my guy Wayno, which shout out Wayno. If you did not catch the $2 Sports Show on Friday, Wayno was the guest, and
he was awesome.
Awesome. It was awesome. You check it out for real. If anybody hasn't watched it, go check it out. It was great. But we're just going to jump right into it. We do have some faux Grizzlies. It's not really Grizzlies news. It's Nike news. There is no Grizzlies news to speak of going on right now. Everybody's gearing up for training camp. There's not even any hype videos coming out. We're at that phase of the season. But we did get an official announcement, an official image, an official whatever product description of the Jaw 2s, including a date and a price. The date, of course, is going to be September 26th, which is like really close. It's like 2 weeks away.
It's 10 days from today.
10 days from today. I knew that. I planned it. That's why we're talking about it on the show. And they're going to be $120. So they're not same, which I really enjoy. I know sometimes you can get a little, maybe not. This is really kind of the first signature shoe that I've taken part in other than Jordans.
Right.
This is the one where I'm like, I got to get them. But I like when I see that they're the same price. The old head in me is like, oh, goody.
Oh, I'm with you 100% because I'm like you. I've always loved shoes, but I've never been a shoe nerd, a shoe head, sneakerhead. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Never really been a sneakerhead because I just don't have the money that I want to invest. Because a lot of these shoes, it's almost like, and it's not just a shoe thing, but it's like if something costs more money, if they make the cost exorbitant cost, everybody just thinks like, oh, this is nicer. And so,
kind of,
and so I'm just like, nah, I can't do that. But Jaws, they came out, the Jaw ones came out at $120. I was like, that's perfect. I have 3 pair. So, and I like the fact that he did that. I have a lot of respect for people like Stephon Marbury and Shaquille O'Neal who made these shoes and we're just like, nah, I'm selling them in Walmart or we're selling them cheap. I love that because there's a lot of people out there, especially in the communities, in lower income communities, who live and die with basketball and sports, and they want to participate. And those people give them the opportunity to. And Jaws, I bought Jaws for all of my kids that are old enough to have to have the size appropriate.
Same.
And they're like $75. Perfect.
Yes.
And Ja coming from a small town, South Carolina, I feel like he gets that. He wasn't raised in the limelight or, from a family that could spend a lot of money on shoes. So I feel like it's a very grounded thing to do. And I've always appreciated that.
For a medium to lower income household, like $120 pair of shoes that's a lot,
Right.
like that was really, really cool. And like, it's still affordable. which
Right.
is what it's like you said. It's like he understands. He gets the assignment. He knows not him and Nike both get what they could do with this shoe. I'm gonna read you the product description.
Oh, yeah, good.
Holy cow, man. I don't know who writes this crap. As someone who writes they have removed as much material in the arch of the new shoe as possible without sacrificing support. This technique reduced the overall weight of the shoe. Air Zoom cushioning provides increased responsiveness and vertical acceleration. The multi-directional traction pattern pays homage to the oversized tractor tires Jaw still trains on in the Morant family backyard. I don't know what that means. They look cool.
I always thought they needed to change the track pattern. It was something that really bothered me with the first shoe.
Mm-hmm.
I never looked at it. I mean, I have no idea. I will say,
as far as track patterns are concerned,
yeah, like the Jaw ones, the thing that I love the most about them is they're like a solid shoe. They feel a little rugged for a basketball shoe. They're easy to clean. They are a little heavy, for me. And so, like, you're talking about like cutting it down. Imagine it's going to feel like a sneaker. This would Jaw ones feel like a basketball shoe. It's got all the support you would expect a basketball shoe, something that's going to be put through it.
Yep.
I imagine this one's going to feel a little bit more like just a streetwear tennis shoe, like a running shoe or something. It's the way it makes it. The description makes it sound, anyways.
Well, yeah, and if you look at they're called the Induction colorway. It's going to be these first ones. If you look at them, it's shout out Wayno. It is probably all AI written. If you look at them, it's kind of cool. They've got the three. It's got like the claw marks, the Grizzlies claw marks over the swoosh. It's over all that material, and it's not like how the swoosh kind of went behind the shoe and connected. It's like I like it, but it's like
my favorite part of the shoe.
I like it. It's kind of a part of the shoe now, and so the scratch marks go over it. I love these colors. I didn't know that. I'm red green colorblind, so colors. I'm always like, oh wow, right. Colors. These two are called Cobalt Bliss and Taupe Gray.
They look great.
They look great, man. Let me tell you, Taupe Gray. I'm all in on Taupe, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah, you wear a lot of colors for somebody who's colorblind. I'm wondering if you're doing it on purpose.
Now you should wonder if I dress myself. The answer is probably yes, because it's never right. I think this and this and this are probably all the same blue. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even read those words on your shirt, can you?
The baked potato pop. Baked potato pop. Shout out Barbecue Shop. Best barbecue in the city. Always looking for sponsors. We're gonna go. That's it. But Jaw 2 shoes coming out soon, right in time. I don't know if they were trying to push this for Halloween, because there's a Halloween colorway that looks really, really cool. That was an awesome release last year. I'm just really excited about that.
Yeah, I think, and it's also coincides with like the first of the season too, because it's like a month before season starts and training camp's gearing up. Everybody's getting in basketball mood. Drop the Jaws.
Yep. Shoot. If they're smart, he'll wear like other colorways that they already have ready throughout training camp too. That way they can drop it.
His closet is full of Jaw 2s already.
Yes, dude. That's a good point. They are probably already so full of Jaw.
They roll these out strategically. But these suckers are made. They know what they're doing, and Jaw's already got them.
Yep. Let's transition to not Grizzlies, because I have not been this invested in college football in a long time. There was so much. I'm trying to watch more college football because I want to be ready to talk with you on Monday. It's becoming one of my favorite things on Monday, is just to
do your homework.
I'm doing it, man. And like, there was some stuff that
what did you watch?
Memphis was the game that I was really excited about. Because
that's number one for me.
That's
what we're going to talk about.
Let's talk about that first, because I always like Florida State doing bad. I don't know why. I think that's just like an old from the 90s. Like, I just don't like Florida State.
They had a run there.
Don't like them. Yeah. And watching them get beat by the Tigers was just great.
Yeah.
It was just really satisfying.
So there were lots of layers that I don't know
Yeah.
that everybody around the world appreciated to this. Mike Norvell leaves Memphis 3 years ago to take
Yep.
the job at Florida State, and he leaves Memphis as arguably the greatest coach to ever coach at Memphis.
Yes.
And I believe that I'm not a Memphis fan. I'm from the area. I'll obviously listen to lots of shows and have lots of friends who love the Tigers. So in the comments, I know King Meeks is in here. If you want to correct me, go ahead. But I feel like most of Memphis fans like cheered him on. Like it was not resent because I mean that's Florida State. They have won a national title in the last 10 to 15 years. They're a historically named program. And it was like, yeah, my guy, how can we ever stop you? Go do you, brother. You know?
Go succeed.
Right. And he left before they played in the New Year's Six Bowl that they got in as the highest group of 5 team that year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he took some staff with him, but he left. But Silverfield was on his staff for 4 years, and he took over the Memphis job at the behest of Mike Norvell. I think he put in a good word for Silverfield to take over the job at Memphis, a school that has, for the last 15 years, hired amazing coaches from nowhere, basically.
Yes.
You look at Fuente and then Norvell. I mean, just an incredible track record of coaches. And but then you play him. And so it's like, okay, now we're not friends. You know,
yes.
You can't. You're like, I was happy for you then, but I'm not going to cheer for. I'll cheer for you there, but not when you play us.
To bring this back to the Grizzlies, to make a Grizzlies metaphor, it's like Tyus Jones. We wanted Tyus Jones to go and get a starting job, but when he comes back and he plays us, we're not going to root for him to succeed.
Right, absolutely, and you always cheer for your guys. I love the Grizzlies. I love Tyus and Kyle Anderson and Mel. I mean, I still love them, except for Dylan. But I'm probably too hard on Dylan. But yeah. So the Tigers go in to Tallahassee, Florida, and just beat them. I mean, that sounds simple, but it's like it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a fluke. They just went in there and beat them. And everybody's everywhere is going to couch this as Florida State's 0-3 now. They're not good. DJ ugly, still ugly. It doesn't matter, man. I mean, and I don't want to be like Memphis is in the American. Memphis is, they're in a lesser conference. They're even with Florida State being 0-2, most people were not picking Memphis.
Nope. I mean, look at the college game day.
Yeah. So go. I hope that everyone in Memphis, I know I enjoyed it as an Ole Miss fan. I know Buckets enjoyed it as a Mississippi State fan. We were all rooting for Memphis. And if anybody anywhere tries to couch this as, Florida State sucks, you shouldn't have beaten them, this isn't that good of a win, screw you. Yeah. Our coach left us for what he thought was a prettier woman, and we just went in there and whooped him.
Yeah. And in every facet of the game, Memphis outplayed them. They were just the better team. Yeah. It's really fun to watch because it's not that Memphis was getting like, everyone wasn't down on Memphis. People just weren't giving them their proper due. I don't think they were just like, right. Florida State's the better team, which
it's kind of really what you run into though. I mean, we're in week 3 and in week 2, Memphis had played what? Troy and the brothers and sisters of the blind or something like the same as Ole Miss. I mean, it's just like nobody's played anything. Nobody knows how good you are.
Yes.
But Memphis went into Tallahassee, Florida and beat them. And then like
not somewhere that's easy to play, somewhere that's notoriously a hard place to play.
Yeah. So they had more passing yards. They had more rushing yards. They had fewer turnovers. They had fewer penalties. I mean, they just dominated.
Yep. That's and honestly, hats off to you. You can't have your team better prepared than that. And you knew, like Norvell,
he was like, oh crap, this was a big deal for Norvell probably,
Yes.
but Norvell can't get his team to care about the school that he once was at.
Yeah.
But Memphis, that whole team, that whole staff, that whole city rallied behind that team. Like there was no motivation. You didn't have to conjure motivation if you're Memphis. You know, I mean, they were going to put on a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited to see if they're able to, I mean, I don't, they're 3-0 now. I'd love to see that continue. Yeah. The other big thing that I caught, that I paid attention to over the weekend was, what's his name? Quinn
Ewers.
Him getting hurt and then Arch going in and whoa.
So
five total touchdowns.
Yeah. And one touchdown where he looked like his granddaddy out there.
Yeah, running. He did.
I mean, it was, listen, I don't like that at all.
I knew you
he's
would.
A Manning. He came out of high school at the wrong time. And the Manning family, there's some nuance there, but they kind of run things in Oxford. You know, Archie is Mr. Oxford. And Archie was not a big fan of the hiring of Lane Kiffin. I think he was pretty vocal to the decision makers about how he did not want Lane and the baggage that he came with. And so when they hired Lane, they kind of more or less showed him who was actually making decisions here.
Yeah.
And that kind of put them off from the start. Now, Lane built it up a couple years before Arch, but the work was done. And the Mannings, this happened with Peyton and it happened with Cooper. Like, going to Ole Miss is like the family business. And sometimes you just want to do your own thing. And that was what Arch wanted. And they're Archie, Peyton, Eli, Cooper, all of them did what they should have done, and they supported their son, grandson, and nephew. And they let him make a decision. So I'm not really that salty about it. But he was great. You know, Quinn Ewers, I mean, he threw 6. He went 14 for 16 for 185, but then Arch went 9 of 12 for 233, 4 touchdowns, and then had 53 yards rushing and a touchdown with a 67-yard touchdown run. In college football, sacks go against your rushing yards, which is stupid. But yeah, he was great. He was really good. And they played against UTSA, which was an American Conference kind of sleeper.
Yeah.
Garbage. Awful.
Yes, very bad.
Terrible.
Very bad.
So, yeah, it was nice to see Arch do that. I'll be honest with you.
Those were the two, Memphis and Arch. Those were the two. I mean, you and I talked last week. This was not a splashy weekend in college football. No. You know, so those were the two things that I paid attention to. What was your highlight from the weekend in college sports and your low light? Like, what was something that surprised you and something like both good and bad?
Well, keep in mind, I look at this. I'm an Ole Miss fan. I've went on this on the $2 Sports Show before. I'm not an SEC fan. Anything that greatly affects positively my competitor in the same conference, I assume negatively affects Ole Miss. So I don't typically root. And I'm also aiming for a playoff spot. Ole Miss has got
a goal.
Outrageous expectations this year, and I'm always kind of wanting to see playoff teams get beat. And so last week was the Rusty.
I know.
His team lost to a team from Toledo. Okay. And it wasn't even close. So
death by Toledo.
Yeah. And to only make it worse, Ole Miss won against Wake Forest 40-6. So but I'm always looking for teams that's in that playoff scenario. That's where my eyes go. And last week was the big upset week. You know, we talked about Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame, and we talked about just for fun, not playoff scenarios, but like Cal beat Auburn, which was great fun for me. This week was almost upsets.
Yeah.
Boston College got out to a big lead against number 6 Missouri in Columbia. And I was obviously a Golden Eagle at that point. I wanted to see the number 6 team in the country. Yeah. But Missouri storms back. You know, they outscore them let's see, 24-14 down the stretch there to win by 6. And then also South Carolina hosted LSU with College Game Day there, and they were winning the whole game. And just kind of bungled it late. Just a team that didn't know how to win. Their starting quarterback, Lenora Sellers, who is a dynamic athlete. I mean, he took a 75-yard touchdown run right up the middle against LSU. They got up big, but then Sellers gets hurt, and they bring in Robbie Ashford, who is just like DJ Ugly, except he doesn't play at good colleges. And then they just melted down towards the end, gave it up late, had a field goal to tie it as time expired, and missed. And so it was like they're just almost there. Kentucky was beating Georgia all game long.
Yeah, dude.
In Kentucky.
Yeah.
They just kind of, peed down their leg there at the end too. It takes a real effort to knock down a team like Georgia, who I think has got 48 straight regular season wins.
That's insane.
It's stupid. And so it was a game that had 1 touchdown. So Georgia had 3 field goals, 1 touchdown late, scored their first touchdown with 12 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Kentucky had 1 field goal per quarter and still almost beat them. And so it just didn't. It didn't pan out, but it made for good TV on a Saturday where we wasn't expecting much.
Yes,
and Mississippi State got beat by Toledo. So.
That's wins, right? Wins. Wait, you brought up an awesome point that I think is really important in college football. Like, these games can be so close, but in college it matters if you know how to. It sounds so stupid.
Right.
You got to know how to win. Like, knowing how to win matters, and it's cool.
We talk about it with the Grizzlies. Like, you got to have your scars a little bit.
Yes. Yes.
It's the same way, and especially if you're going to try to knock off Georgia. Like, I mean, you've got to really come at it, and you've got to be aggressive. If you watched our $2 sports show, I went on a rant Friday about coaches who do not try to win, especially when you have the opportunity to upset somebody. Like, do not kick a field goal on 4th and 5, down 8 when you're playing Alabama.
No.
No. Go score a touchdown.
Because that's math.
Go for the win every time. You have nothing to lose. And I felt like Kentucky kind of got a little complacent there. They kind of got forced. I wanted them on their last drive, or they had a drive with 8 minutes to go where they had to settle for a 51-yard field goal, and that ended up being like a 4th and 10. I mean, you had to kick it there.
Yeah.
But it's just they just didn't have the dogs to keep up with them, and you just had to have one big turnover or something late, and it just didn't happen. And Georgia, for bettors out there, next time they play Kentucky in Kentucky, bet Kentucky and bet the under, because they never play well there.
Yeah, that's
third straight time in Lexington that Kentucky almost knocks them off.
Man, I'm ready for Georgia to lose. I just wanted to lose. Just one.
Well, you may be able to cheer pretty soon, because Georgia and Texas are the class of the SEC right now, it seems like.
Yes.
They're tier 1. Tier 2, that's when you get to Ole Miss and Missouri. I feel like there's an obvious tier break there.
Yes.
But Georgia plays at Alabama next week.
Oh.
And then they play at Texas on October 19th.
So circle
Georgia's
that one.
Got a really tough schedule.
Yeah.
They go at Alabama, at home to Auburn. Auburn sucks. They go at home to Mississippi State. Mississippi State sucks. And then they go to Texas. And so as an Ole Miss fan, I'm just like, come on.
Come on.
Roll Tide, I guess. I really need Alabama to lose too. But
who's Ole Miss got this weekend?
So Ole Miss plays the 4th of their high school schedule, the 4th straight high school opponent.
Hey, doesn't matter. W is a W, baby.
It's really sad, and I'm so sick of it, because it's like it's not exciting, because I want to get involved, but we're just not. So we opened the season with Furman, Middle Tennessee State, at Wake Forest, which is a Power 5 school in the ACC.
Yeah. But
they're not any good. They lost to Virginia last week. Ole Miss came in, beat them 40-6, and it wasn't competitive. They got Georgia Southern at home, and then they have Kentucky at home, and then they go to South Carolina. And those games, I have no idea what to expect out of those games.
Yeah.
Kentucky lost to South Carolina 31-6, and then almost beat Georgia. And then South Carolina almost lost to Old Dominion, beat Kentucky like a drum, and almost beat LSU. So I don't know. I hope one of them. I want to get our heart rate up, before you go play in Death Valley against LSU. Like, I don't want to just be like, beating everybody 70-0.
You want at least one nail biter in there before you have to go down Death Valley.
Just have to play some situational football before you go to Death Valley. That place is hard to play at night.
Yeah, that's like one of the places that you just know. Like in if you watch at any point in your life, like I know Death Valley's hard to play in just from back in the day. Like I know that.
Ole Miss has got an extremely easy schedule this year. They play at LSU and they play Georgia at home, and those are probably. Before the season, I said that's the only two games they won't be favored in. They may be favored at LSU now. I don't know. In a few weeks, based on what LSU does. But next week's schedule, it's a little bit better. You've got Mississippi State hosts Florida, which is interesting. It's kind of a loser leaves town kind of game. Yeah, both those teams are kind of teetering. Yeah, Arkansas and Auburn. LSU is hosting UCLA, that's kind of cool. That's cool. Vanderbilt, Missouri, Tennessee goes to Oklahoma for your Vols fans out there. That's interesting. That's the Josh Heupel Bowl. Josh Heupel played quarterback for Oklahoma.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then
they love him in Knoxville, man. They love that guy.
Yeah, and as they should. Yeah,
I like him a lot.
They were up on, was it Kent State? Yeah, like 69-0 at the half, or 68-0 at the half, and finished the game at 71-0. Like, talking about calling off the dog. They had ball boys out there playing. Awesome. We could have probably just meandered. We probably could have showed up at the game and been like, "Hey, what's this?" All right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So Nico looks good. That team looks good, but they're kind of like Ole Miss. I think there's a lot of similarities there. Yes, I agree. Because they played a really easy schedule. They played one Power 5 conference school from the ACC, which you hoped would be competitive, and it wasn't. NC State got murdered. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of. I want to see both of these teams in a dogfight. Same. We're about to get in the meat. We're about to get in the meat and taters of the college season. I'd say where it's like week after week after week. There's going to be some. Going to be some. We're about to. After week 5. After week 4, rather, that's when you start the vast majority of games. Like week 4 on is all SEC matchups, with the exception of one every once in a while, a cupcake leaks into a SEC team's schedule. But yeah, it's about to be real football. Heck yeah. No, about to be real football. I can't wait. That got me excited because the weather's getting real football time, baby. We're going to take a quick break. Let you take a break, let you go pee if you need to. When we get back, we're going to talk about Mondays, and we're going to talk about lasagna. I'm excited. I get excited for Mondays. It's like I get to look forward to talking about college football and what we're doing. It's fun. But we're going to take a quick break. Hang out with us, and we will be right back.
I think Jabari Smith Jr., and I don't want this to be true, but I almost feel maybe Tobias Harris, yo.
What's wrong with Tobias Harris? We've had this discussion. All the guy does is give you a double-double, 20 and 10.
Bro.
That's it. That's it. Every night.
Who?
Tobias Harris.
Stop that. Tobias Harris gives you a double-double 8 times a year. Stop that.
What?
He gives you
8 times a year.
I'm a fan. And this is what I'm saying because I continue to be like, he's a dude he's a tease. It's a tease. It's like, God, dog, he's sexy. But it just won't work. Like he should be, but it's there, but it's just when the games, it's just consistently. I don't know if it's you need more people to believe in it or something, but I don't want, and also just to get lost in the rest in that Houston team.
Tune in to the Night Court podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I've always thought Norvell wasn't really that tight to me because I was like, bro, this dude ain't it to me, bro. He left with the humility, and that's the only reason why people ain't destroying his ass right now.
That 2019 year is what supplanted his legacy as like, you know, he's the man.
Oh, yeah,
but let's not forget, he was one missed 20-yard field goal against Tulsa away from all of that being nothing. That one field goal changed everything. That missed field goal sent them to the AAC championship, brought game day to their place. I mean, that field goal changed a lot of people's careers. Ryan Silverfield wouldn't be here. Norvell wouldn't be in Florida State. It just changed everything. So
yep, that's facts. That's facts. Get him out of here and put Memphis in the pole position to go and do what they gotta do to get to the college football playoff. If you win out, you got a chance to win out if you win this game against Florida State.
How crazy is that going to be? If
it's
they
going to be
that?
crazy.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind and new commercials. I love them. That's cool. I like, and those were serious ones. You can catch them. You catch them both at bluffcitymedia.co. You can catch Night Court, Anthony Sane Show, $2 Sports Show. No Bluffing should drop today. Grizz 901 is going to be coming back right around the corner. Got a whole lot of them, so make sure you check them out. But back to our show. On Mondays, we like to celebrate Garfield the cat, the greatest cat of all time. Man, I heard something the other day. People were, and objectively, I agree with this. It was like cats are better, or dogs are better than cats. Like it was famous dogs, and I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of famous dogs, and it was like famous cats. They're only kind of good as props, like a villain holds it, right? And like like Vito Corleone or like Mr. Bigglesworth. But Garfield is the man. Garfield's the man.
Ron Swanson once said, any dog below 20 pounds is a cat, and cats are useless.
It's basically a cat. Cats are useless. Yes. Yes.
I subscribe to that.
And I typically do as well. If my cats can hear me, I'm sorry. But Garfield the cat's the man. He loves lasagna and he hates Mondays. And, on this show, we think it's important to celebrate the good and the bad. You got to take them both.
Yes. So
we talk about our Monday and our lasagna from the weekends, what we loved and what we liked over the weekend. I'm happy to go first. Okay. So, Finn, my partner's son, he is a skateboarder. He likes to skateboard. Yeah. He just turned 14. I don't understand skateboarding.
I pay a lot of money to watch.
My center of gravity is really high, and so if the wind blows, I just it's awful. It is awful. I'm like a bull in a china shop anyway, and if you just add wheels to the scenario, it's but
no Heelys either.
No. Get them out of here. Unless it's Jeff Healy, the blind guitar player from Roadhouse. Shout out him. He is part of a skate league, and it's skate league. It's like competition. He got sponsored over the weekend. And so we got a professional skateboarder in the house, but that means you got to go to like competitions and stuff. That was really cool. Like we got to go to our first competition. I was like really excited. It was going and he did really good. And they score it like the Olympics, they do, they get 2 runs, they take the best run score, and then they do tricks. It's really, really cool. So it's awesome. That was my lasagna. My Monday was he finished in second. And it was kind of my first time where I was like, bull crap. I like wanted to throw stuff. And even though there's like no refs, I have no idea how they're judging it. I don't know any of these tricks. And half the time they're not landing them. I was just like, no. I was getting like heated and I had no clue what was going on.
So how many people were in it? How many competed?
There were like 12.
That's awesome. Dude,
I thought it was awesome too.
I mean, amazing. Yeah.
But
first competition. I know. It's like, we'll stay in the same vein here. Stay in the same theme. My son had a travel ball tournament in Tupelo. And we went 0-3 and got run ruled every game. So. but two very different good parts to this. my wife and I lost our freaking minds. She's holding out. I mean, this was game 3. It's like 8:30 at night. We're playing in Tupelo. BB is playing left field and he's doing good. This is coach pitch, 8 and under. And this team is striping the ball. We can't hit water if we fell out of a boat. And this team is striping the ball. And they hit a pop fly to left field, and he ranges over. And I was like, oh, just keep it in front of you. Keep it in front of you.
Keep it in front
He
of you.
sticks that glove out and snags it.
Yeah, boy.
Lose it. I mean, my wife and I jump up. We're getting beat like 10-0.
Yeah.
And she's got baby in arm, and I'm like focused in the air, and we're just jumping like, yeah.
Yes.
And, I mean, just lose it. And everybody, we sit back down and like cool down for a minute. And the lady that looks sitting next to us says, "That yours?" And I was like, "Was it obvious?"
Did you tell?
Yeah. Second one, I ran into Memphis legend Gary Parrish.
What?
Just watching the kid play ball, chopped it up with Gary. I was just like, "Hey, I'm a nobody here. I mean, we've got a show. I feel like we do it. We are proud of it. But I've been watching Gary forever, and I was like, hey, you don't know me. I know you. Nice to meet you." And we just talked for like 30, 45 minutes just about our kids playing travel ball.
That's
the
awesome.
This dude you'll ever meet. And he's wearing that blue Mets hat that he wears all the time. And I was telling him, like, I don't know if you were trying to not get spotted, but you can't wear that hat. I mean, that's
pick any hat other than that man's hat.
But yeah, so BB played good. He caught a ball. The next inning, he almost caught one. It just bounced out. And I was like, we had a good time. Chopped it up with GP for a little bit. Had a fun time.
That's a good weekend. That's a good weekend.
So, but yeah. Oh, and tomorrow morning, 4:30, I'm headed for 4 days to Chicago.
Oh,
go watch your Cubbies.
Oh, are you?
Yeah. So there's a plant that manufactures some equipment that we use that they're taking us to tour it and everything. And we'll take you to the Cubs game. We'll take you go get some deep dish pizza. We're just gonna live it up for a few days. So,
dude, have you been to Chicago before?
Never been.
It's there's a lot of fun. It's kind of I don't want to say touristy, but if you guys have never been, there's a lot of fun, just everything to do. If you go to Navy Pier, there's like good food, good shopping, good shows. It's just kind of like a do it all on a really cool. And I love being that close to the water. The Great Lakes are really, really cool.
Yeah. Is that Lake Michigan? Which lake is that?
I think it's Lake Michigan. Yeah, I think so.
I've never been. I've always said like a bucket list thing, and it may, now that we've got all these kids, it may be after we get some out of the house, but I've always been like, me and my cousins grew up going to Cardinals games. We'd go on guys trips when we were in college, and we'd go to a Cardinals game every year. And so it's always been a bucket list thing to go see all the parks. Nostalgia, and so I'd love to go see all of them. I've never been to any of them except for Busch Stadium in St. Louis. So I'm excited to go see Wrigley, because Wrigley's one of those, as much as I don't really care for the Cubs.
Watch them out.
It's one of those you've got to go to.
Yes, dude. I was going to say, you've not seen baseball played until you've seen a ball game in Wrigley Field. It is so.
What do I get? Is it a hot dog? Is it a specific Chicago style hot dog?
Get it Chicago style. It's going to have, if anybody from Chicago, it's going to have the hot peppers, tomato, onion, celery, salt. It's really good.
Okay. I'll do it. I want to do the most popular thing in Chicago.
Chicago style hot dog is fire. It gets a bad rap down in Tennessee, but it's good. It's good.
I'm going to go get a Chicago style hot dog and a deep dish pizza and see the Cubs. I feel like it checks all the boxes.
Dude, oh man, we are next Monday. You gotta let me know, even though that you might not see a win and you may not see the Cubs win.
They're playing the Athletics, so I think you'll see a win.
Yeah, you'll see a win. You're good. You're good. Sorry, Billy Bean. Keep chasing it. That's gonna do it for our show today. Thank you for tuning in, King Meeks, Wayno, Rusty. Thank you guys. Thank you for chatting in the comments. As always, it keeps us going when we get to look and see y'all going. It's awesome. I will be back tomorrow with Rusty. Uncle Buck's going to Chi-Town. Have fun, dude. Go Cubs, go. Hey, Chicago, what do you say the Cubs are going to win today? Have good weeks, everybody. Good days at work. Wayno, sleep good. If I can leave you with 2 things today, Remember,
Check out Wayno. Check out Wayno on the $2 Sports Show.
check out Wayno on the three things. First thing, go check out Wayno on the $2 Sports Show. It's awesome. Next two things, be a little weird and smile, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.